Welcome to Ping 24 Updates. Subscribe my channel and press the bell icon for more updates. The headlines flicker across screens, their urgency impossible to ignore. Each breaking news alert, each scrolling ticker, seems to signal a new development, a fresh wave of uncertainty. The region is abuzz with speculation, and the sense of unease is palpable, not just in government offices but in the homes and streets where ordinary people live their daily lives. These images paint a vivid picture of a region on edge, where the air is thick with anticipation. From the bustling streets of Manila to the vibrant cityscape of Taipei, a shared anxiety lingers, as if everyone is waiting for the next shoe to drop. In Manila, whispers of destabilization plots ripple through the political landscape. Politicians debate behind closed doors, while security is quietly but visibly ramped up around government buildings. The specter of unrest is never far from anyone's mind, and rumors swirl about possible threats to the fragile balance of power. In response, the armed forces of the Philippines has launched aggressive recruitment drives, seeking a new generation of soldiers ready to defend the nation. Young men and women line up at recruitment centers, driven by a mix of patriotism, economic need, and a desire to be part of something larger than themselves. Training camps buzz with activity as these recruits are molded into disciplined defenders of the state. Military officials hold press conferences, issuing stern warnings against any form of military adventurism. They emphasize the importance of keeping the armed forces separate from political power, reminding everyone of the painful lessons learned from past coups and periods of martial law. The message is clear: the military must remain loyal to the Constitution, not to any individual leader or political faction. For ordinary citizens, these developments are not just background noise. They are the pulse of a nation grappling with its democratic identity. People gather in cafes and living rooms, watching the news with a mix of concern and hope. Conversations about politics and the future of democracy are more frequent, and the stakes feel higher than ever. Across the water, in Taipei, a similar tension exists. The city's skyline is punctuated by the presence of military vehicles and soldiers, a constant reminder of the island's precarious position. The threat from across the strait is ever present, and the people of Taiwan live with a heightened sense of alertness. Taiwan's military stands as the primary defender of democracy against an existential threat. Soldiers patrol the streets and guard key installations, their vigilance a testament to the seriousness of the situation. The military's role is not just defensive. It is symbolic of the island's determination to remain free and self-governing. Occasionally, retired generals make headlines with pro-Beijing statements, sparking fears of ideological divisions within the ranks. These moments ignite public debate about loyalty, national identity, and the potential for internal discord at a time when unity is most needed. The sudden resignation of a top military chief only adds to the uncertainty, raising difficult questions about the relationship between civilian leaders and the armed forces. Was it a matter of principle, or a sign of deeper tensions beneath the surface? These events, though separated by sea and circumstance, are connected by the delicate relationship between the soldier and the state. In both the Philippines and Taiwan, the balance of power between civilian government and military authority is constantly being negotiated, tested, and reaffirmed. For both nations, the journey has been about transforming the military into a loyal guardian of the Constitution. Oath-taking ceremonies and flag salutes are more than rituals. They are public affirmations of a commitment to democracy, a promise that the armed forces will protect the people, not rule over them. The challenge remains, ensuring that the armed forces serve the nation as a whole, rather than the ambitions of any particular leader. This is a delicate balance, one that requires constant vigilance, transparency, and a deep respect for democratic norms. Understanding this ongoing battle between the forces of democracy and the temptations of authoritarianism is crucial to comprehending the resilience of these democracies. The people of the Philippines and Taiwan know that their freedom is not guaranteed. It must be defended day after day by both citizens and soldiers alike. Political adventurism in the military context carries a heavy weight. It refers to situations where those in uniform, entrusted with the defense of the nation, step beyond their professional boundaries and become active participants in the political arena. This phenomenon is not just a matter of individual ambition or personal ideology. It is a systemic issue that can have far-reaching consequences for the stability and future of a nation. It describes actions where the armed forces interfere in the political process, sometimes subtly, sometimes overtly. This interference can range from influencing policy decisions behind closed doors to outright coups that topple elected governments. The mere presence of military personnel in political spaces can send a powerful message, intimidating civilian leaders and undermining the democratic process. This isn't about personal opinions, it's about using military power to shape outcomes, often at the expense of the people's will. When the military leverages its authority to sway or dictate political events, it disrupts the delicate balance that is essential for a functioning democracy. It thrives where democratic institutions are fragile, and the military has played a central role. In such environments, the lines between civilian and military authority blur, making it difficult for elected officials to govern independently or for the public to trust the political process. A perception can develop that they are the ultimate guardians of the nation's welfare. This belief, whether encouraged by the military or accepted by the public, can lead to a dangerous dependency, where citizens look to the armed forces for solutions to political problems rather than relying on democratic institutions. Historical examples serve as stark warnings. From Latin America to Africa and parts of Asia, military takeovers have often led to periods of repression, instability, and setbacks in development. The scars left by such interventions can last for generations, undermining trust in both the military and the state. Once the military intervenes, it creates the expectation it will do so again. This cycle of intervention and instability can become self-perpetuating, making it even harder for democracy to take root and flourish. This erodes democratic civilian control, where the military is an instrument of the state, not its master. True democracy requires that the armed forces remain firmly under civilian oversight, serving the Constitution rather than shaping it. For developing democracies, preventing military overreach is crucial for survival. Only by strengthening institutions, promoting transparency, and ensuring the military's loyalty to the Constitution can nations safeguard their democratic future and prevent the shadow of political adventurism in uniform from darkening their path. The history of the Philippines is deeply intertwined with the story of its military, whose influence has extended far beyond the battlefield and into the very heart of the nation's political life. From the earliest days of the Republic, the Armed Forces of the Philippines, or AFP, have played a pivotal role not just in defending the country from external threats, but also in shaping the direction of its government and society. The military's political role has often placed it at the center of major national events, sometimes acting as a stabilizing force, and at other times, as a catalyst for dramatic change. One of the most dramatic examples of this was EDSA Dos in 2001. During this pivotal moment, military leaders made the unprecedented decision to withdraw their support from then-President Joseph Estrada, a move that sent shockwaves throughout the country. This act was more than just a political maneuver. It was a clear signal that the president had lost the confidence of the armed forces, effectively sealing his fate and leading directly to his removal from office. The military's intervention was decisive, and it underscored just how much power the AFP could wield in times of crisis. But this was not the first time the military had played such a crucial role. The 1986 People Power Revolution, which famously toppled the dictatorship of Ferdinand Marcos, was itself sparked by a military mutiny. When key military leaders defected from the regime, it inspired millions of ordinary Filipinos to take to the streets, ultimately leading to a peaceful revolution that changed the course of Philippine history. In the years that followed, the country saw a series of coup attempts against subsequent administrations. These repeated uprisings created a culture of political instability, as factions within the military vied for influence and power, often putting the nation's fragile democracy at risk. Traditionally, the AFP's primary mission was internal security, fighting insurgencies and maintaining order. This focus fostered a belief among many officers that they understood the nation's problems better than the politicians in Manila, and that it was sometimes their duty to intervene for the greater good. The withdrawal of support from Estrada is now seen as a cautionary tale, a reminder of the immense responsibility that comes with military power and the dangers of overstepping constitutional boundaries. It set a dangerous precedent for extra-constitutional change of power, raising questions about the proper role of the military in a democracy and the risks of undermining civilian authority. In the aftermath, the AFP was forced to confront its own identity and mission. This event prompted a period of deep institutional soul-searching as military leaders grappled with the lessons of the past and the need to restore public trust. Ultimately, these events highlighted the urgent need to re-anchor the military to its constitutional mandate, ensuring that the AFP remains a professional, apolitical institution, dedicated above all to serving the Filipino people and upholding the rule of law. Taiwan's military influence differs from the Philippines' history of coup. The military was once the armed wing of the Kuomintang party state. The transition to democracy involved transforming a party army into a national military. Retired generals sometimes align with Beijing's goals, raising concerns about influence. This subtle form of adventurism seeks to undermine national morale. Taiwan's challenge is insulating the active duty corps from retired predecessors' political gambits. Following EDSA DOS, a quiet revolution has taken place within the AFP. Efforts focused on instilling professionalism and loyalty to the Constitution. The Philippine Defense Reform Program modernized the military's mindset. Emphasis on civilian supremacy and democratic governance became key. Improvements in soldier welfare addressed grievances that fueled past unrest. The AFP leadership remains steadfastly professional despite political polarization. The new breed of Filipino soldier understands true strength lies in defending democracy. Taiwan's military has transformed from an authoritarian enforcer to a democracy defender. Nationalization of the armed forces separated the military from political parties. Military academies focus on defending democracy, instilling pride in protecting a free society. Civilian oversight ensures military accountability to elected representatives. Transparency integrates the military into the democratic framework. The active-duty Taiwanese military is professional and largely apolitical. Its commitment to defending the democratic system is no longer in question. The AFP's strategic focus has shifted from internal security to external defense. Maritime disputes in the West Philippine Sea have provided a unifying mission. This shift requires new skills, technologies, and doctrines. The external defense mission has a depoliticizing effect, uniting the nation and military. The enemy is clearly defined and external, reducing political maneuvering. This pivot has accelerated the AFP's modernization and deepened alliances. Joint exercises expose soldiers to professional, apolitical military standards. The West Philippine Sea imperative has reshaped the AFP into a constitutionally grounded force. The antidote to military adventurism is respect for democratic values and civilian supremacy. This principle must become a core part of the military's culture. It ensures the armed forces act as impartial guardians of democracy. Reforming military education stresses civic duty over partisan loyalty. Understanding the sacrifices for democracy provides powerful context for soldiers. Responsible civilian leadership strengthens the case for an apolitical force. Leaders focusing on external defense affirm civilian control. A military valuing democracy sees itself as a partner, not a master. This mindset fosters patience and discipline to trust the democratic process. The journeys of the Philippines and Taiwan show democratic consolidation against military interventionism. Substantive changes have reduced the likelihood of political adventurism. The shift from military intervention to professionalism is a significant achievement. The Philippines' reforms and focus on external defense have created a professional AFP. Taiwan transformed a party army into a national military, emphasizing loyalty to the democratic state. Both nations demonstrate securing democracy requires constant vigilance. By professionalizing militaries and grounding them in democratic values, they fortify against military intervention. The soldier's role is redefined from kingmaker to constitutional guardian. The adventurist era is over. The era of the democratic soldier has begun.